There are few places left in the Mediterranean today that live up to the promise that once held, but North Cyprus is definitely one of them. There are vast tracts of unspoilt landscape to enjoy, dramatic mountains and miles of undeveloped beaches. The atmosphere is relaxed, the people friendly, and making time to enjoy good food and the company of others is still considered important. Add to this a fascinating history and culture and heritage sites of world importance, and North Cyprus makes for a truly magical destination. The island's position between east and west has brought a wealth of influences to it over the ages, the traces of which are to be found in its ancient sites and the artifacts unearthed from them. Salamis, reputedly founded in the 12th century BC, is the most important ancient city in Cyprus. The site stretches over a kilometre of coastline and includes a Roman amphitheatre, baths, gymnasium and basilicas. At Soli, another of the 10 ancient city kingdoms of Cyprus, beautiful mosaics are to be found on the floors of the basilica. Amongst the geometric designs are representations of animals, a duck, dolphins, and, most famously, a swan. In 2005, archaeologists discovered the gold burial jewellery of an ancient noblewoman, including a delicate tiara which had been placed on her head. Close to Soli is the mysterious Palace of Vouni. Built high on a hill overlooking the sea, with views across the Bay of Morphu, it is one of the most tranquil and atmospheric places on the island. Running along the spine of North Cyprus is the Beshparmak mountain range, dotted with Crusader castles. The most famous of these is the fairy tale-like castle of St. Hilarion. The views from the top are stunning, and it's here that a beacon would have been lit to warn the next castle in the chain of approaching enemies. The picturesque harbour of Kyrenia is one of the gems of North Cyprus, a haven for fishing boats and pleasure craft, lined with cafes and restaurants. Above it stands another castle from the time of the Crusades. Today it houses a museum that includes one of the world's oldest shipwrecks, a trading vessel which sank just off the Kyrenia coast some 2,300 years ago. In the Middle Ages, ruled by the French Lusinian dynasty, Cyprus enjoyed a period of unprecedented wealth. Gothic cathedrals mimicking those of France were built in Nicosia and Famagusta to coronate the kings of Cyprus and Jerusalem. The walled city of Famagusta became the richest in the world. The wealth it generated used to build a vast collection of Gothic and Orthodox churches. When the Ottomans invaded Cyprus in 1570, the walled city resisted attack for 10 months in one of the most famous sieges in military history. Cannonballs from the battle can still be found embedded in the walls. The Ottomans converted the cathedrals and many of the churches to mosques and built bathhouses and inns or caravanserais, the most famous of which is the Buyurkan in Nicosia, which now houses craft shops and cafes. Christianity was brought early to Cyprus by the apostles Paul and Barnabas. The Ottomans brought Islam with them, but also a spirit of religious tolerance. Some churches retain their Orthodox icons, and masses are still practiced. There are a number of important places of pilgrimage, among them the monastery of Apostolos Andreas, where the Apostle Andrew is said to have summoned forth a miraculous freshwater spring. This monastery honours the Apostle Barnabas, a native of nearby Salamis. In an ancient rock-cut catacomb is the reputed tomb of the saint. Today, the monastery houses an icon museum, as well as a museum of archaeology. Another important religious site is Belapace Abbey, tucked dramatically beneath the Beshparmak Mountains. The abbey was patronized by the French Lusinian kings, and in the 13th century church, it's thought that several of them are entombed beneath the floor. A journey into North Cyprus's countryside reveals a way of life that has changed little in centuries. In the villages, bread is still baked in clay ovens, heated by burning olive branches. In the west of the island, citrus groves stretch for mile after mile. Carob beans and olives are widely grown. The olives picked by hand to be stone-pressed in the local mills. All part of a very healthy local diet. The abundance of fresh fruit and vegetables soon becomes apparent on a visit to the capital's covered bazaar. Here you'll also find local cheeses and sausages and a vast array of olives. There are also local handicrafts, embroidery, basketwork, and for those with a sweet tooth, Turkish delight. But alongside this traditional way of life is a much more modern country, with plenty of opportunities for shopping and a wide variety of restaurants and bars to choose from. Miles of mountain tracks and unspoiled coastline make it a perfect place for exploring on foot, with plenty to see along the way. In the national park region of the Karpaz, herds of wild donkeys roam freely and are a common sight. Around June each year, loggerhead and green turtles make for the shore to lay their eggs in the sand. After 6 to 8 weeks, the young turtles emerge and make their way to the sea. As well as being home to birds of prey, including the red-footed falcon and Benelli's eagle, Cyprus is on 3 major migration bridges, and reservoirs and wetlands attract numerous species, including flamingos. In the springtime, the wildflowers are simply stunning. As well as more common species, North Cyprus, particularly in the mountains and the Karpaz region, has many orchids. Some of them, like the Cyprus bee orchid, are unique to Cyprus. This is another way to see more of the countryside, a tandem paraglide above the dramatic Beshparmak Mountains. Golfers are catered for by the world-class Corinium Golf Club, an 18-hole course set between the mountains and the sea. There are plenty of opportunities for water sports, and the crystal-clear waters make it ideal for diving, with visibility often over 30 meters and one of the longest diving seasons in the Mediterranean. With so much to see and so much to do, it's hardly surprising that visitors return to North Cyprus year after year. With its history, nature, people and landscape, a visit to North Cyprus makes for a truly memorable experience.
Bye-bye.